A massive political rumble is rattling the political corridors across the nation. This has been triggered by the arrest of Tamil Nadu's Power Minister Senthil Balaji by the Enforcement Directorate. He may be in DMK now, but he was earlier in the AIA-DMK during the alleged cash for jobs scam. Well, after multiple raids and intense 18-hour grilling by the central agency, Senthil Balaji was arrested on charges of money laundering and corruption. But the high drama didn't just end there. Senthil could be seen breaking down, clutching his chest and crying in pain as he was taken away by the Enforcement Directorate. In fact, listen this. Well, the doctors have now advised bypass surgery for him. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Stalin and 15 of his mantris rushed to the hospital in a show of solidarity, alleging intimidation tactics by the BJP to target its rivals. Well, in fact, this arrest in Tamil Nadu, remember, has stirred the hornet's nest across India and have divided the ranks of opposition, which has now come together in a rare show of solidarity for the DMK mantri. They allege that this is BJP's brazen attempt to crush the opposition with intimidation and harassment. In fact, we have managed to access the remand note for Senthil Balaji. We are going to get you the first and exclusive look as to what really it says. For this, we are going to go across to Bhavtosh, who's joining us with all the details. Bhavtosh, this is very critical for us to understand what exactly the remand note says to get an idea of how this case is likely to fall out. What does it say?
Well, Meghna, initially when the principal sessions judge had gone to the hospital, ED did not press for his custody. But once the family was asking that he should be released on the interim bail and or either he should be shifted to a different private hospital, the ED's counsel asked that they should also be given a chance to seek his further custody. That's 15 days custody. Now, the remand note that Times Now has accessed and gone through it clearly mentions one thing, that they suspect that Senthil Balaji, his brother and other family members and co-accused have committed at least a scam or a fraud in which money has changed hands. And they have said that numerous summons were served to Senthil Balaji when ED was probing this case, particularly last year when he was in fact a minister, is still a minister. The second thing that they have said is that candidates who did manage to get jobs between 2011 and 2015, they paid cash, and this money, they have traced it to the bank accounts of Senthil Balaji. The money that they claim could have gone to Senthil Balaji and his wife is between 1.29 crores to Senthil Balaji and around 22 lakh rupees to his wife. They have said that to clear these doubts, they had served summons to Senthil and his wife, but they did not join the investigation. Another important fact is that several of these complainants and the candidates have recorded their statement. They recorded the statement under Section 50 of PMLA, making it admissible in the court of law. Coupled with the fact that Supreme Court has already said that that ED can continue with its investigation, it only means trouble is mounting for Senthil Balaji. Having said that, the medical condition of Senthil Balaji is something that one has to look at. It is something that is even troubling and bothering Enforcement Directorate. But they have now said that an independent board should inquire into it, should look into this, and that hearing could be taking, could even stretch tomorrow, even as we wait for the outcome of the hearing, which is still going on in Chennai.
Well, thank you so much, Bhavtosh, for getting us the details. That's what the enforcement, that's what the remand note says. Senthil Balaji, remember, is however being protected by his party. However, the BJP has called this a blatant attempt to try and tie up the investigation, while the DMK has said that this is BJP's way to try and crush the opposition with intimidation and harassment. But now the BJP has been quick to point out that Stalin himself, in 2016, when Senthil Balaji was in AIADMK, called him a corrupt looter. But once he joined the DMK in 2018, his graft stain miraculously got whitewashed for the party. In fact, now in 2023, watch how the DMK is vehemently defending him as a victim of vendetta politics.
He's been arrested by the ED. What do you have to say?
Objection irukkaru nalla irukkaru இந்த ஊர்ல மறக்கல நாங்க அஞ்ச மாட்டோம் சட்டப்படி சந்திப்போம்.
This is only the act of the revenge by the union government. You know it. Only arresting revengeful activity is this. The only arrest union government is doing so many wrong things against the states where there is no BJP government.
It's a cowardly act by the union, and the DMK will come out stronger. And I told you, it's a very cowardly act, and he will come out clean. And our Chief Minister is also standing steadfastly.
Well, the opposition parties have closed ranks to target the BJP for misuse of central agencies for alleged political hit jobs. Listen in.
उसको रातों रात पकड़ने की क्या आवश्यकता थी? और अगर कोई गलती किया है तो उसको आप सुबह आके इंक्वायरी कर सकते थे. तो ये घटना मैं इसको कंडम करता हूं, और खास करके ये जो बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट डराने की कोशिश कर रही है और सप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रही है. केंद्र सरकार ये डर के हरासमेंट कर रही है और लोगों को सीबीआई, ईडी, सीवीसी, एंटी करप्शन ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशन को मिसयूज कर रही है.
तमिलनाडु सरकार की ऊर्जा मंत्री पे जिस प्रकार से इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट की रेड हुई और जिस अमानवीय तरीके से, इनह्यूमन तरीके से उन्हें गिरफ्तार किया गया है, उसकी आम आदमी पार्टी घोर निंदा करती है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को एक हिदायत देना चाहती है कि विपक्ष के नेताओं पर ईडी, सीबीआई छोड़कर अगर आपको लगता है कि आप विपक्ष समाप्त कर देंगे या उन राज्यों में खूब वोट बटोर लेंगे, तो आपको बिल्कुल गलत लगता है.
Well, the BJP on their part has demanded the sacking of Senthil Balaji and accused the DMK of shielding the guilty.
And Mr. M.K. Stalin ji himself wanted action against Senthil Balaji in 2016. Mr. M.K. Stalin ji himself welcomed the income tax action against Chief Secretary in Secretariat in 2016. Suddenly, 7 years later, he changes his colors. I request my opposition friends not to get fooled by whatever he is saying.
Well, the BJP has, in fact, lashed out at Chief Minister Stalin's what they call the duplicity. They have tweeted this old video where Stalin can be heard calling Senthil Balaji a corrupt looter. In fact, remember at this time, Senthil was part of the AIADMK cabinet led by J. Lalita. Watch this.
போக்குவரத்து துறையினுடைய அமைச்சராக இருந்து அந்த துறையில நடத்துனர் பணிக்கு 3 லட்சம், மெக்கானிக் பணிக்கு 6 லட்சம் என்று கொடுத்து ஏமாந்திருக்கக்கூடியவர்கள் லட்சக்கணக்கானவர். இது குறித்து 48 பேர் புகாரும் கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. ஆள் கடத்தல் புகாருக்கு உள்ளான அவருக்கு இப்போது தேர்தலில் போட்டியிட, அது வேறு ஒரு தொகுதியிலே போட்டியிட அவருக்கு வாய்ப்பு கிடைச்சிருக்கு.
Well, let me go across to our panelists. Joining us today on the show, Vinod Selvam is joining us, spokesperson with the BJP of Tamil Nadu, Shekhar Iyer, a senior journalist here on the show, Dr. P. Pullarao, a political analyst, Sridhar Reddy joining us, a senior leader with the BRS, George Kurian is also here with us, a political analyst. Dr. Pullarao, I'm going to come to you first because I find it very hard. We just played out that soundbite. In 2016, when this man, Senthil Balaji, was part of the AIADMK, M.K. Stalin, we just heard him come out and say he and his brother are corrupt, they defrauded lakhs of people, and AIADMK has given its ticket to these looters. In 2023, how did all the graft charges and the taint against him get whitewashed just because he joined the DMK?
A little beyond that. In 2016, Stalin was in the opposite party. Further on, we must have come to know that maybe these charges were different, of a different color. People change their perceptions. People change their views.
Did that perception change because the party changed?
All the parties. Whatever perception has changed everywhere else, the same thing we find in the ruling party here, in the states, everywhere. They change because of their relationships changes. That is aside from the point that the fact that Stalin has changed his opinion is a moot point. The important thing which everybody is discussing is the manner of arrest. The way he was arrested after 10 years. There was no need for all of this drama. They could have done it if they found there were charges against him, summoned him to the ED office, arrested him, take the due process of law. All the time we hear, let the law take its own course. The law should take its course, but the due process should be followed.
We'll just come back to the due process, but let me bring in Vinod Selvam also. Is it really a moot point what Stalin said then as to what Stalin says now? Because now the perception seems to have changed, but the probe continues. The agencies are still doing their job. Whether or not, irrespective of which party Senthil Balaji joins, should that even matter? Mr. Selvam.
There is nothing surprising about this. In fact, today the Chief Minister must be very happy because what he had wished for in 2016, what he had spoken about on stage, the video which he just played on a television, it has come true. The most corrupt minister in the DMK regime, the money bag of the DMK party, Senthil Balaji, has been arrested. And this is following various complaints, various people, poor people who had lost their money during the scam which was being done by Senthil Balaji and his family, starting from Mr. Arulmani to Ganesh Kumar to Deva Sagayam. So many people who had lost lakhs of money getting promised about jobs in the transport department. And following that, what did they do? The minister and his aides, they went to the High Court and then they filed a compromise petition saying that the matter has been amicably settled. Now this itself is an acceptance that a crime has been committed. So they basically agreed or accepted that there was a cash transaction promising jobs for the money, especially government jobs for the money they were taking when he was minister. Okay. And this is what Mr. Stalin had opposed vehemently in 2016. Now, Mr. Stalin should remember one thing. DMK is no temple where you walk in and wash your sins away. In fact, Arivalayam, the seat of the DMK's power, was raided in 2011 when the alliance between DMK and Congress was being finalized on the ground floor. The officials from various departments were raiding the first floor of the Arivalayam where the Kalangi TV office was there, the 2G scam. So DMK is no holy temple.
Oh, that's interesting that you'd lock that charge. Sridhar Reddy, if I can bring you in, because that's something that the opposition, the BRS and every other opposition party accuses the BJP of. That BJP has become a washing machine where once you enter, everyone comes out without a scam taint. Now it seems to be happening in opposition parties also. Sridhar Reddy.
No, it is not the case. No, why have you kept quiet since 2016? Because DMK was your ally then. So people understand clearly it's a political vendetta. Now he is in DMK, he need to be punished. That is what they wanted. If the case was there, which was very much persistent, what have you done from 2016? Today ADMK makes a statement that Annamalai is not fit to be a president of BJP in Tamil Nadu. That is the kind of relationship they carry.
But Mr. Sridhar Reddy, isn't the same thing applicable to the DMK? Let's not forget this compromise formula, which is close to an admission of guilt, had also happened 2 months after DMK came to power. DMK came to power in May, in July there was a compromise formula.
There are hundreds of examples where right from Himanta Biswa Sharma to Narayan Rane, Sujrat Chaudhary to Mr. Singh in UP, MP. So there are many instances, examples where BJP ne Nirma Sarf apply kiya, so they all become clean. Now here, even in Telangana
Shekhar Iyer,
today,
let me bring in Shekhar Iyer. This is an interesting point to bring you in because Shekhar Iyer, the Supreme Court in 2021 itself had said it had questioned the failure of adding very strong corruption charges from 2015 to 2021 till the Enforcement Directorate started looking into it. Supreme Court said the compromise was not just a compromise formula, it was a compromise of justice, of fair play, of criminal jurisprudence. That's what the Supreme Court had said. Until date, people will come and say that this is political vendetta.
Indeed, Meghna, this case has got further life because Supreme Court held that there could not be a compromise in a cases like this between the accused and the complainant. And the Supreme Court directed ED to proceed further. Otherwise, the move was to again hand it over to crime branch and somehow settle the case. If you have to understand why so many ministers and Stalin himself, his son Udayanidhi, all went to the hospital to see him. Nobody went to see Kadimuri or A. Raja when he was arrested. That only shows the clout of Senthil Balaji. And who is Senthil Balaji? Because, you just showed the audio of how what was said in 2016 and today. Because he was important to Jayalalitha government, he was important to ADFK, and Jayalalitha herself dropped him because her own tolerance level of, the activities of Senthil Balaji was such she had to remove him from the party.
And Tamil Nadu's had a long history of that, isn't it? George Kurian, if I can bring you in, should it matter? Probity and politics, why should the two of them go hand in hand? Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I won't be able to come to you, Sridhar Iyer. I'd like closing comments by George Kurian instead.
Well, Meghna, as we all know,
there are IT rights on the
Meghna, as we all know that this is nothing but political vendetta. Please offer me the courtesy. Meghna, as we all know, this is nothing but political vendetta. As we all know that, isn't it true that post 2014, 6 times more the cases have gone ahead in ED and CBI? 95% of the cases are against the opposition.
How do we know it's political vendetta? The probe is still on.
3% have come to a conviction rate. So I strongly believe this is nothing but try to intimidate and harass the opposition leaders. We all remember back a few months back, 14 opposition leaders had reached out to the Supreme Court with regards to the harassment and cases filed against opposition leaders by the ED and CBI. So this is nothing but political vendetta. Is all I would want to say at this point in time. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time. A short break. Stay tuned.